Welcome to The Interest. I'm Ryan Kingsley. This Thursday, we're joined by LaDonna Lockard in a new segment of Maximum Conversations in Minimal Time. After that, Vincent Valvo delivers another poetic moment in mortgage. Then, stay tuned for Mortgage Meteorology with our own Sarah Wolak. But before we hear from LaDonna and Sarah, a story about how a plucky California retail shop went fully delegated in less than a year, closing more than 400 units in the worst market in decades. Founded in November 2022, Peak Residential Lending calls itself a hybrid mortgage company, merging the tradition of retail service with the flexibility and pricing of brokers. The team of industry veterans that started Peak Residential wants to set the record straight. Retail isn't the enemy. They dare to ask the question, are brokers really better? Here's the story. Opening a fully delegated mortgage bank is usually an incremental process. Broker for a year, then transition to non-delegated, then jump to delegated, then hedging, then selling direct to Fannie and Freddie, then maybe servicing.
Chris kind of pushed me. He's like, no, I want to do it all at the same time, at the same time.
It is challenging to overstate the amount of industry experience assembled at Peak Residential. Much of the team has been working in mortgages for more than 20 years. Most have been working with the Bates team for at least 10. Their operations manager, Allison Bates, even married in.
People that we used to work with, they're seeing our pre-approvals out there and we're winning the deals.
But wait a minute, they ask. You're just this little company out of Yuba City, California. How are you winning deals?
Well, it's because we can take everything that we've learned from all of these companies, learned what did work, what didn't work, and really provide a better option for the loan officers.
That better option for loan officers stems from Peak's different approach to their business model.
The rhetoric out there right now is kind of the retail lenders are evil because they've inflated margins, they're costing borrowers more money, the middle management, and that's not all true. There are different companies out there, and we're one of them.
He calls Peak Residential Lending a hybrid company.
We're trying to provide, the service you get from a more traditional retail lender, but with the pricing and control you can get in the broker world. So,
beyond strategy and experience, though, opening a fully delegated shop in less than a year and capturing market share in a low sales environment required the belief that only this team could have done it.
There was never a doubt in my mind that this would not succeed because of the men that started it, and they don't know how to fail.
All totaled, 30 of Peak's roughly 60 employees are part owners of the company, each having contributed $50,000 or more to raise $3.2 million in startup funding. Getting fully delegated by the end of 2023 was part of a plan to have capacity in place for 2024, by which time markets would have hopefully been rebounding.
So I think at the end of this year, if the markets don't change, if we don't grow substantially, then we have some decisions to make and about what we want to be.
No matter if volume returns sooner or later.
Yeah, because we're ready to go now. We've got all of our approvals. We have 11, 12 investors we sell to, $40 million in lines to fund off of. We're hedging and selling our loans in the secondary market. So yeah, we're ready to get it done.
And they're planning on being around for a while.
We're not out here to, make millions and millions of dollars profit. We just want to make a decent living for everybody and be able to give back to the community and keep what we started permanently and not just a one-off for a year or 2 years and then get greedy.
To learn more about how Peak Residential Lending is winning loans in a challenging market, visit nationalmortgageprofessional.com. For The Interest, I'm Ryan Kingsley.
We all dream of owning a home, but for too long, if you didn't fit the mold, you were stuck. Stuck because the system worked for everyone except you. We've changed that. Angel AI uses advanced AI technology to give a 100% trusted solution and fast answers for worry-free financing, allowing you to achieve fair and equal access to lending. Angel AI, AI you can bank on.
For the interest, I'm LaDonna Lockard. I'm here today with Phil Treadwell. Phil, you are with M1 Academy. You're the founder. You're a mindset coach. I got to know, though, how did you get into the mortgage industry? Where did you find kind of this niche that you're in?
So I, in college, was a store manager for Blockbuster Video. That was kind of my claim to fame. And I thought I was going to go to retail management. Didn't like the hours. So I started doing a little bit of sales. But my dad was a builder, and I thought I was wanting to take over his company, but he really wanted me to see what else is out there before I decided to do construction for 40 years. And I answered a newspaper ad. They were looking for someone with sales and management experience. I had both. I didn't know it was a mortgage company, but a 30-minute interview turned into about a 3-hour conversation. And I remember the owner of the company at the time said, if you decide to do this, you're going to look back at this conversation one day and cuss me, because once you get in the mortgage business, it's really tough to get out of it. And here I am 20 years later.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible. So when did you parlay your experience in the mortgage industry into being a mindset coach?
So I think mindset is the most important thing that's going to make people successful. It's not the only thing, but it's the thing we have to focus on the most. Mindset is how we show up. Ed Milet says it's in sales, we don't need to get people to believe what we're saying. We need to get people to believe we believe what we're saying. And that's a mindset thing. Our mindset controls our attitude and our actions. Those are the only two things that we can control. We can't control the market. We can't control our clients. We sure can't control our partners. What we can control is what we do and how we respond to things. That's a mindset thing. So tactics are important, but our tactics are only as good as the mindset we have in using them. We have to have a growth mindset and understand where we're going and what we're doing. And we have to understand how do we turn that into action so that we actually achieve our goals.
Oh, absolutely. Being that we're in such an interesting market right now, it's hard for people to stay motivated. It's hard to keep your spirits up. But what do you tell people who are going through the motions day in and day out right now? What's your advice to them?
Yeah, it's a great question. There's a difference between motivation and drive. Motivation is a feeling that comes and goes, but drive is going out and taking action regardless of whether you feel like it or not. And the way that we create drive is first understanding why we do what we do. Why are we in this business? What are we trying to accomplish? What happens to us early in life that either happens to us or didn't happen to us, something we learned or didn't learn that creates us passion about what we're doing? And how does that create our unique value offer? And the other part of it is understanding our North Star. What's the ideal version of us? I heard a quote that the definition of hell is meeting the person that they might have become. Well, I say, heck with that. Let's figure out who that person is. Let's figure out what's the big goal. Let's reverse engineer that into milestones and create some short-term goals. And if you understand why you do what you do and where it is that you're going, you now have a drive to go out and do it every day. Motivation is great. It makes us feel good. It makes us excited to go do something, but that comes and goes. And drive sticks with us. It's something deeper than just how we feel in that moment.
How do you help people establish what their why is? That is such a profound question and something that everyone needs to discover within themselves. How do you help people find that?
It's a simple conversation, like I said, of typically if their parents were really good with their finances and they learned how to build wealth, maybe they had rental properties, maybe they saved money, that created a desire within them that they did that for themselves and they want to show other people. Or just the opposite. Maybe their parents were terrible with money and they had to figure out how to do it on their own. And so they're passionate about showing other people because they weren't taught that themselves. Typically something happened to us or didn't happen to us that has created who we are as a person. And then why are we passionate about doing this thing? Most people that are good salespeople, good marketers, good relationship people, They can go do a lot of different industries, but there's something that drove them here, that kept them here. And it's not just because of the income opportunities. Hey, that's great. But if your why is simply about making money, when you're not making money, you'll go do something else. So for people that are sticking around and trying to build their business and they're going through that grind and they're still trying to better themselves, there's a reason why they're here. So it's a series of just asking questions about what they are passionate about. Why are they in this industry? What gets them most excited when they talk to a client, to a partner, and really understanding the background of where they came from, so we can take that why and turn that into a unique value offer. A unique value offer is not something that no one else can do. It's how you do what you do in a unique way. If you have a story and that you use that story to frame how you're a mortgage advisor and how you help people create strategies, that in turn is unique. That in turn is what's going to create relationships for people.
Phil, you are so giving with your time. You have your podcast that you put out there for free. Anyone can listen to it. Thank you for doing that. It's something that I've recently discovered myself and have been unbelievably impressed with. So thank you for that. I know we're going to continue this conversation. I do want to make sure to mention, though, you are going to be at Originator Connect coming up in August. You are one of the keynote speakers. So looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you for joining me here. And for the interest, I'm LaDonna Lockard.
In the realm where numbers dance and swirl, mortgage servicing rights unfurl. A value shifting with the tide where finance and fate coincide. Born of loans and debts amassed, they sway with markets unsurpassed. In the ebb and flow of economic might, they gleam like stars in financial night. From lenders' hands to investors' sight, they traverse realms of profit's height. Yet, like a leaf upon the breeze, their worth is subject to degrees. In quiet offices, minds debate the metrics that decide their fate. For in this realm where value gleams, mortgage servicing rights, the dreamer's schemes. Oh, elusive essence ever in flux, measured in numbers yet beyond bucks. You capture hopes, you mirror fears in the echoes of financial spheres. So heed the tale of mortgage rights where value shifts in day and nights, and a dance of numbers, a game of chance in the eternal play of finance.
Welcome back to this week's Mortgage Meteorology. We'll touch on all things to do with the overall climate of the housing market, not just in our neighborhood, but yours too. The housing market experienced mild activity in June, with home prices only heating up by a mere 0.2%. This slight uptick marks the calmest month-over-month increase since January 2023, based on data from Redfin. Despite this, the annual forecast shows home prices are still up 6.9% from last year, although this represents the coolest annual growth since January. According to Redfin's Home Price Index, the market has seen a cooling trend in the pace of price growth, which has been slowing each month since February. Elevated mortgage rates have created a high-pressure system that is reducing buyer competition. However, Redfin predicts that this cooling front may be temporary, as falling mortgage rates and low inventory levels could generate enough heat to push prices up in the coming months. More than a third of the 50 largest U.S. metro areas experienced a drop in home prices in June, indicating scattered showers of market cooling. The most significant decline was observed in Nassau County, New York, with a 3.1% drop, creating a local cold front. Austin, Texas experienced a 1.7% decrease, followed by West Palm Beach, Florida, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, both with a 1.1% dip. Despite the recent cooling trends, the long-term outlook suggests a possibility of warming, with price increases expected due to favorable conditions such as lower mortgage rates and limited inventory. Keep an eye on these economic weather patterns for more fluctuations in the market. I'll meet you back here next week with your updated housing market barometer.
For more on these and all of today's top stories, go to nationalmortgageprofessional.com.